Okay.
All right, LocalWorks, April 9th, 2013. Let's start the meeting. Any adoption?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
A second.
Okay.
How about the meeting minutes from last
Should we vote
week?
on it?
Oh, yes, all in favor of adopting the agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Today we'll get the minutes from last meeting.
Yes. Yes.
And any objections or edits for it? I move to accept the minutes of March 26th meeting.
All right, second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain.
You abstain, okay.
I wasn't here, so.
Well, I should also abstain,
Okay.
because I was not.
And,
So we move on to old business. So the survey is live. I was just looking on the Survey Monkey, says we have 72 answers so far.
Great, that's great.
Yeah.
great. That's
Yeah.
good. Good.
Now, we just started.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep everyone then.
For a good cause.
We'll have a folding party later.
Okay.
With the Survey Monkey, we can show the results, and there's a lot of nice charts, and does anyone think we should start showing that information now so people can see?
I think we should wait until we tabulate it all.
Like this?
I mean, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's it?
just like that.
yeah.
Yeah, if people want to do it while we talk, that's great.
Yeah, let's do it when we talk, so we can.
how about now I noticed we've had, as of a couple days ago, there looked like there was 11 or 12 people who wrote comments, some of which were kind of nice.
Yeah.
What if we kind of use those as publicity for the survey and say, say on Facebook, say, hey, some really thoughtful comments have already come in, for example, and then put one or two of them, and
What are some of them that we've seen?
let's go in, I'm
I
trying to get
guess
back to
my
vote.
thoughts are that we would not want to publish the results of the survey in any way until the survey closes.
Well, I don't know, I normally agree, but I think it would be a cool idea as an enticement just to have some comments that people have given.
Unsolicited, nice comments, yeah.
Jamie, what's wrong with doing the comments?
I just think that because it's something we're asking for feedback on,
You just call the feedback?
Yeah, it could color their feedback, it could color their comments, it could change the results we're gonna get. We're only a week into the survey, and we've had, about a 10% response rate from the number of people who have seen it on Facebook to the number of surveys that we've received, which is fairly high, I think. And I think only less than a handful have failed to complete the entire survey.
Is it? Right now, it's only on the LocalWorks Facebook. Is that
No,
correct?
it's shared, it's been shared
It's been shared on
about 15 times right now through different people's pages and personal stuff.
It's been shared through the Good News page and the
It hasn't been shared through the Good News page?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
So once that goes through, we should see a huge bump because he's got 2,000 people that are on his list, basically.
No, I don't know if Pat's shared it on his page, on his Good News, I think he did it from his personal page.
No, it was from the,
You sure?
yeah.
Because I was talking to him yesterday, and he wasn't sure if it was good news enough, worthy to be on.
Well, this morning it was there. This morning it was there.
I don't know, I think it was his personal page. Check with Pat.
It said 01027.
That's what I thought too.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Actually, I wouldn't have. So I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
And I only see the 01027.
Then that's great news.
Yeah.
Are we having any negative comments?
No, but
Hey, Mark, how are you?
like he should not have.
Welcome.
What?
I'm just
No,
wondering if we
no.
have too much of them.
There was a couple people who said things like, well, we think, I'm trying to load the comments here and
Oh,
pass that
okay.
around, but it said things like, well, we should have, I wish the survey had asked such and such.
Yeah, we should have included Trader Joe's, I think was the comment that was included a few times. But it's okay.
I thought we had Trader Joe. Oh.
So did I.
Okay, so getting back to whether or not we have future comments. I mean, I see Jamie's point. I can see it swing.
I do too, yeah.
So let's not.
I'd rather us all be
Well,
in
yeah,
unison too.
right.
Maybe we should say something on there, results will be shared publicly on such and such a time. Because I feel like some people might take it and say, well, that's great, now when do I find out? It doesn't say much about, it just says it will be shared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did say 6 weeks, right?
I mean, it said on the survey entry page from the LocalWorks page, it says, I thought it said that the results will be made public to boards and will be made public and shared with boards and committees. I mean,
Why don't we just say something like, 100 people have filled out the survey, have you?
yeah, that's
For
good.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we say that 72 people have already filled it out?
Yeah, or let's wait till it's 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might be waiting.
We won't. People,
You could do it like, people try to get more people to like their pages.
Yeah.
Let's get over 100, let's get over 150, let's get so 200 clicks, and you could do things like that. That's a good idea.
This is sweet. I'm getting out of phone.
Well, you're typing.
you know what,
so-
yeah, you can have an exemption. I'll fold all,
I like,
you don't have to type anything else.
all right.
So we won't publicize that yet, then?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about, now, Josh and I started the Facebook ad on Friday, didn't go live until what, Sunday? Monday?
Yeah, Sunday night, I think.
I don't know that I think it said let's see here, we've reached 705 people, so the ad's been showed 705 times, nobody's clicked on it, we've only spent 19 cents. I think we might need to adjust the budget, the minimum bid, or the kind of cost per impression, adjust it up a bit to see if that affects. I have it set at $10 a day budget, and we had discussed at the last meeting to run it, 10 different days?
Yeah.
But so far, since it doesn't cost us only 20 cents, I figured just leave it up. We'll make some adjustments and see if we get an increase.
Yeah, so is it a maximum of $10 a day?
Just so you know, we
Yeah.
haven't been approved for this.
Okay, we voted on it
We
last
did vote
time.
on it.
Yeah, but there are other changes of command in the city.
As far as our budget, the LocalWorks budget.
Any spending still has to go through purchase order and approved by the mayor.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, we can still decide to do it.
We can decide to do it, but if the mayor doesn't approve it,
But the purchase order is a formality. I mean, that's the format for being paid. It's not, generally, the mayor's office doesn't then go back in and say, oh no, we allocated budget money, but we don't want you to spend it on this.
it happens.
So it's an approval and,
It's a auditing check, basically.
Do you want to just check in to the mayor's office then?
I mean, I'll put out a purchase order for the cost of the advertising to
So if
whoever.
we do $10 a day for 10 days, that's $100 for Facebook ads. So far, we've only had 20 cents, 19 cents.
Yeah, I just don't want you to get personally
Right.
responsible for the cost of advertising if
Sure.
for whatever reason it gets kicked back.
Yeah. So should we hold it, pause it, or?
I say no.
No.
Well, I mean,
but it hasn't been
It
approved.
hasn't been approved,
Well,
so
let's-
can we just
let's-
ask Mr. Chalsnick if there's going to be any issues with that? So we can,
Thanks.
I mean, I would just put it through the system that exists and then,
Well, why don't we do that? I really can't see him. I can't see the
I
mayor.
can't either, but I just want to put it out there that we
Okay.
haven't officially, just so no one's
Okay, why don't we,
liable for,
can you expedite a purchase order request?
I can on my end,
Okay,
but I mean, it's
That's fine.
It's still going to take a week to
That's
go
fine.
through the system.
but let's just go through it and, that'll be a formality, just so Matt can get reimbursed for it.
So about $100 to you.
I'd be glad to ask him.
Okay, yeah, if you do that at the same time?
Do you have any problem with that?
The way the system works, I know it has consistent results.
That's fine, but if we want to know immediately if we can spend this money or not.
We're not to usurp your efforts.
No.
You still go through your process.
Yep.
But just so that we know whether or not we're barking up the wrong tree.
Well, I guess we're meeting every other week. It's already been done. So if we're gonna up it and there's a chance that we won't be reimbursed, we should probably know that up front. I mean, that would be like a yes or no, given that it's not a huge bureaucracy. I mean, and then there's no worries to, you know, if it's like, oh yeah, fine, then there's no worries. Sometimes informal is okay.
I suggest that we do both. You go ahead and go through the purchase order stuff, and if you don't mind asking Mike, that'd be good.
Okay,
So this is going to be a reimbursement to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it may not be $100. You know, it may.
Well, I have to make the maximum to
Right, I know.
the maximum, so we set aside that fund. So
Right.
that way, it is set aside with Matt Seymour for this reimbursement. Personally, I think we're going to have a better chance of getting the funding to just submit it that way than to go up and interrupt the mayor.
Well, I don't think she's going to interrupt.
Well, it's up to you.
And I say again, though, she's not, her asking is not, it shouldn't have an effect on your procedures. It shouldn't change the way you're doing it.
Okay, I'll put the PO.
can we kind of assume that since the group voted on doing it, we have, how much, we have $1,000 in the budget, why would they say no? They already want us to do the survey and make people aware of it, so I can't see why they would possibly say no.
Because we've already spent, we're planning to spend another $300 in advertising, and maybe we've reached some limit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in danger of reaching the limit right now.
Okay.
I'm not trying to
Right.
like,
Right, I'm just
Say
confused,
no.
like, if we have a budget and that's what the committee that has the budget chooses to spend the money on and have voted on it, why would we?
because purchase orders go through the mayor.
You could say don't do it again.
He can refuse to sign the purchase order, and that has happened where he's kicked back things for,
Things that were done in the past?
you know, that just doesn't want to see the money spent that way.
Okay, but has he kicked things back because things were done incorrectly and done and the PO was done after the fact? That you know of?
No, but we're supposed to get the approval beforehand, before we spend any money, before we do.
Okay.
So that way the city's not incurring costs
Okay.
without the,
Well, put it this way, if the 19 cents that we've spent so far gets, I think we can each chip in 3 cents.
no, that's not the problem. I don't, you know, if all of a sudden people start clicking on it and then we're liable for a few $100.
Well, no, it could never be more than $10 a day, and if we are monitored, you know, we wouldn't get out of.
Yeah, we already have a limit of $10 a day.
Okay,
Yeah.
So, and
so I'll put in the purchase order. I'm just trying
appreciate
to
that. Okay.
make sure that we're not getting,
Sure, that makes sense. So we could continue at basic minimal level. If there's a problem, then we can take a collection.
Let's watch it closely, and if it really does start to pick up,
Right.
let's do it, stagger it every other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we can pause at any time.
Did we vote on it for 10 days in a row, or did we vote on it once a week?
I don't think we got that specific.
I think we talked about doing it about 10 times over if at $10 a day, about 10 different days over the course of the time.
is this only targeting East Hampton residents?
It's a 10-mile radius.
Okay, but we're not advertising to people in LA?
No,
Okay,
no,
that's good.
yeah.
It's within 10, yeah. It's,
Is that the smallest parameter?
No, we could just do East Hampton only. It's just that the reach was a lot smaller. It was back to 16,000, where this is giving us 90,000, where people in that area might, I mean, we are getting people who have already filled it out who are in East Hampton, or Amherst, Northampton. The bulk are East Hampton.
which I think is kind of viable, because if there are some people who come to East Hampton to purchase things,
Maybe they
or
work
to
here.
go to restaurants here and things like that, or who work here.
And we can, you know, if they filled out the survey correctly and said we don't live in East Hampton, we could always eliminate them from other analytics.
Right, yeah.
That's
Okay.
valid other people's opinion.
Right.
Cool.
All right,
Somebody loves us.
We need to talk about, I don't know if this is the right time or not, but the next ad Jamie and I were talking about this.
Right, we had set aside for money in the summit, we'd sent in the first ad, which came out last week, and then 2 more reminders. Those have been placed. And we have money for a 3rd ad the same size as the previous 3, and 1 ad that's a little bit smaller. So we should decide whether or not we want to, and what we want to do for those. If we want to spend that, if we want to wait to see what kind of responses we're getting.
Do you need a week lead time? Weeks?
I think a week or 10 days is probably fine for the ads. It would take a lot more lead time to get the surveys printed and published.
So that ad that we're discussing would come out when?
The 3rd ad would be May 2nd, and the final ad would be May 9th.
So this is, the second is already moved. It is done, so to speak.
No, the May 2nd ad has not been placed yet.
I almost say,
Oh, the second ad has been placed.
The second, but not the May 2nd ad.
No, right, correct. I was confused.
That's okay, I didn't say it correctly.
The 9th ad is crossed out. Does that mean that was canceled? May 9th? I have it as crossed out on May 9th.
I don't have that crossed out on mine. The one that on mine that's crossed out is April 25th.
That's also crossed out on mine.
Okay, well, my suggestion would be that for the May 2nd to do the half smaller ad, and then to do a larger final ad that just says, remember, the survey's closed next week, or something like that.
What is this? This is May 2nd. This is May 2nd.
That sounds fine.
Yeah.
What's the harm in reminding people?
yeah,
There's no harm.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree with you.
great. And let's use the template that Josh worked up for the second ad.
Hey, can I request that what we send to them, we force the URL to be black?
Sure, we can make that, yeah.
Because it showed up, I don't know if you saw it in the,
Yeah, it's probably because,
it came out gray because it was submitted
They
to
want a big supermarket? URLs that's
They
gold
should
blue? I
approve
don't know if that
I
is.
don't
They
know.
should approve
Fix
that.
They should have, but they didn't,
Maybe
so.
they can give us an ad, 2 ads the same size, because they didn't prove that.
I mean, that's the way we sent it to them.
I know, but they still have ad copies, whole section that says, did you really want this to be gray?
Guy's got a point. I'm not sure how, what.
I'm sorry, but that's a rookie, I feel like, I deal with advertising papers for years. and
Well,
always
It's like you see something in a paper that says, click here.
Right, I mean. Whatever.
Well, I don't know, it's not the end of the world.
Anyways, the second one would be in black, because I did make that correction,
Okay.
so.
I
I
agree with you, but I'm not sure it's worth it. I think we.
Well, I don't think we should
Choose
be
our
all
words.
crabby about it.
Yeah, okay. So you want to go down and
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to come and say, I like it, but here's the thing, just wondering,
Matt brought this up, but there was some email going back around a while ago about making Big E's supermarket.
I changed that, didn't I?
you didn't make it in the paper.
Oh, shoot.
Here's where it made it. It made it on the flyer that we're posting,
Okay.
so not on the,
Can we correct that on future ads?
yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. When I drop these off to Mike Superson, I will, Sapperson, Superson? Superson. I will apologize for some.
And I'll see if I can get this one corrected to be supermarket. Because that's still, I sent it in, but it's still not going to be published till the 18th. So that may be changeable still.
So we shouldn't publicize how many people have taken the survey so far, or we're close to 100 people?
Oh, I think we can.
I think we should do that,
Yeah,
do
we'll
updates
publicize.
on Facebook. But I would want to be careful that it doesn't shoot, like, people are like, oh, they already got 100 responses,
that's
we don't need
what-
to respond.
I don't think that would be the fact. I
We
mean,
could say 100 people have already done this. Find out what made those one, or why they,
Yeah.
how fun it was.
I think we just keep
You're missing out.
posting it so it keeps showing up in people's news feeds and
Well, but these could be talking points for like me when I'm posting it.
Yeah.
I'll say something like, "Hey, everyone, go check this out." I mean, I can say, "Look, we've already had blank people take this already. Make sure you're one of them."
We need you to.
Yeah,
as well.
I think
We need you
that-
to. That we need
you know,
to.
there's
With that, yeah.
there's still 15,000 people in the city who haven't taken the survey.
Right.
Are you one of them?
Yeah.
Trying to find that out.
maybe that's what that should be. We're still waiting on 14.9.
99.9% of people haven't taken
14.9,
Yeah.
click here.
Okay. Cool.
Do we want to make a video? Do we want to do that?
That'd be cool.
There's one right here.
Yeah. My coworker.
You know, like the PSA for this.
Yeah, I was just thinking something like, maybe like someone actually reads this part of it, and then we can just take some excerpts
Sure.
out of it.
I'd be happy to be involved. Probably should have Matt as well, since he's our fearless leader.
Well, frankly, anyone who has any kind of access to graphics would be better suited or well suited. Because it's really graphics files that we'd be putting into this.
Oh, not interviewing someone.
Yeah, I don't think we need to interview someone. I think it would be like, as a part of the citywide standards, local consumer preference and economic development study.
Like a slideshow
Like a
almost.
PowerPoint kind of thing?
Kind of like a revolving PowerPoint, or maybe like an animated PowerPoint where, we would put each question, 3 or 4 questions in PNG file with a transparency, and drop that, onto a backdrop of already kind of moving plain video, and you can enlarge them.
Right.
Enlarge them and then put the logos in and, say, get online and fill out your survey now.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Sounds great.
Sure.
I think we should.
I think we should.
I mean, I can also make announcements at the city council and school committee meetings during public speak.
Mhm.
That seems to be super popular.
Maybe some flyers too. Have those.
We have the
I
flyers.
mean, we have the flyer made, we have to print it and distribute it, so that's that on the agenda?
Probably ought to be. That could be part of this discussion.
It's part of this discussion.
Yeah. Let's finish talking about the video first, and then we'll talk about the flyers.
I'd be glad to read.
Okay.
Part that you
We're going to do the narration? That would be awesome. So, the way it can work is, we could have this done by Friday. I don't know if, 16.9 screen, does anybody here have access to, like, Photoshop or whatever, it makes
I
PNG
have
files?
access
I mean,
to,
I can make PNGs at home, I just can't do them here.
Okay. I don't need PowerPoint, but, what we need to do is take, like, question 11 and put it into Photoshop and then drop the background. Easy, and maybe add a shadow. Like, we can make it white with a black shadow or black with a white shadow. So if we do that with, like, 4 or 5 questions, that could pretty much be the meat and
I should be able to do that. I don't think I.
If you,
Or, I could actually type some of them up.
do you have Photoshop?
Yeah, I have Pixelmator, which is like Photoshop. I can probably cook up something.
Okay.
Great, next one.
And you have all the survey files that you need, or?
I would need the survey files and I don't think I have the survey.
Can you
I know
send
they
it?
were sent, they were sent around in a
It might
PDF.
have been-
Oh, maybe I do.
It might have
Yeah,
been before
okay.
Mark was on the list though, so.
But actually,
Was it
if he
separate?
has it in Word though, so he has the text.
Would it be best to just put it, if you could just bring the PDF into your image editing program?
Yeah, I can do that too. If there's a PDF, that's no problem.
Yeah, it's easier to edit Word than it is to edit PDFs.
It is, because you have to chop them out, or, I mean,
Yeah, it's not.
I can
Let
also
me know.
scan and
I-
screenshot it too.
I-
That's
Whatever you
easy
need, I'll send it to you.
Okay, great.
If you want me to send it to you as a PDF, I send it as a PDF. If you want to send it to you as a ping, I can send it to you already as a ping. The whole survey, just with the background dropped out, and you can just crop it out to different things or whatever.
Yeah, actually, well,
Do you want me to just send you the whole survey as a ping?
can I just get, I don't want the whole survey, I just want to include like, a few questions, like, like question 26, or you know what, question 24. Like, just excerpt question 24 and put it in a transparent pane.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you
And
can
then-
take it and move it, put it on another
Another background.
background.
Right, I'll do the background
Okay.
and I'll do all that other stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's no
but-
problem.
So, things that fit in a nice block, like question 20 is...
All the
is-
questions or?
No, let me finish.
Sure.
Question 20 is really good, and question 24 is really good. And
To write these down, 20 and 24, you said 11?
20 and 24, yeah, question...
20 is why would you shop outside of East Hampton? You don't have
Yeah, we don't want that one.
Yeah, that's almost a negative. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, it's a question on the survey, so I don't see how it's negative.
What about 21?
I mean, we're saying like, take the survey, or like, and I'm thinking like, these questions aren't going to be wildly discernible. Are you okay? These questions aren't gonna be wildly discernible, think of them as like floating on the screen, floating off the screen,
Okay.
floating on the screen. But I'm looking at them in terms of how they would fit on a screen that's this big, so you don't wanna have
Oh, I see
question
what you're
14 would have to then scroll up, and then,
Right.
and
I
it's
see what
not,
you're saying.
it's not gonna look good.
Yeah.
Or if we took
Small
question
ones.
14 and cropped it out a little bit, that would be fine. I can also do that.
I think a couple smaller ones are fine.
I mean, the point is to promote the survey, not to give everybody a huge preview of the survey.
Right,
So it's
right.
not gonna be dangling on the screen for a readable time.
Right, okay.
So if I get like, 4 or 5 of those.
Maybe you have
that's
a
plenty.
little screenshot of one of the nice looking graphs that SurveyMonkey generates as colored. It shows different
Yes,
percentages.
yeah, we could do that if.
Without giving away any information.
Yeah,
It could show that this is, a nice high-tech, survey that people can,
I was actually thinking about maybe going on, taking the survey.
Yes.
And screen capturing the whole thing. And then I can just take a
That's a
clip
good
out,
idea.
maybe that's what I'll do.
The SurveyMonkey of it, I think, would look a little bit nicer on screen than
this.
Yeah, but we need both, because we're doing both. So if we're gonna promote taking the survey, we should do both, because at the end of the PSA, it'll say, Dropbox, considering Channel 5, our biggest viewership are people over 65, it's probably a good idea to do both,
Okay.
Yeah,
so if you guys can do a
I
couple
will
questions,
send you the survey PDF in Word doc, and you can,
and then you
do that.
pull out a couple small questions that'll fit on the screen well, and drop the background out and send them to Kathy.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you want some East Hampton photographs in it? General?
if you have any nice, higher resolution ones, that would be great, because then I don't have to go on the internet and search for them.
Kathy, when do you need those by record?
If you can have them tomorrow, that'd be great.
Okay.
Sweet. Sure.
5 questions, even if you just get what, you can do a Mac, or do you do Mac or PC?
Mac.
So even if you just call up the Mac, don't even worry about the Word, just take the Mac, do the Control whatever 4, and just
Just go
select
screen
one
capture.
question,
Yeah.
screen capture it, name it,
Right.
and then bring it into
think
whatever
it's
graphics
it's
to
like Command Shift 4, I think.
Command
that'd be
Shift
the-
4, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then
I
drop
still
the
use the word
background out.
Apple Shift 4, but apparently I'm
Okay.
older than dirt now.
Oh, I used to, that's it, but everyone gets confused, so
I have questions. I'll email you about which questions you want.
Or just look at them.
Just,
Yeah.
Short ones.
okay, just,
We can say right now,
just pick and pop.
Yeah, like, I think you could do a block of 1 through 5. You know what I mean? I think you could screen capture that. You know what? Can
Let's
we just-
move on to the next, you
Yeah.
can work this out,
Yeah.
because I'm just looking,
Yeah,
we're a little
can
bit short on
can I
time.
just cannibalize one of these and just give him that, and that'll be what I, okay.
So we got the flyering, are we all taking flyers
oh yeah, so
today?
flyers.
We don't have them printed. I can print them up. But I just want, this was what Josh and I worked out. I think everyone's seen it.
Looks great.
Did it go out to everyone?
Did the last version that had supermarket go on?
This one.
Right there.
This is the final version.
Does that say
So-
supermarket?
It does, but
Okay.
I don't know how it says supermarket.
Oh, because this is the flyer that we're gonna paste up in places.
Yeah, I have.
That's an old one.
That's an old one. That's right.
Yeah. for the length
Throw
of
that out.
Can you resend this?
I will.
But in the meantime, we're gonna make a bunch of copies today, and I think we should each take a handful of last week.
You want to do this on white paper, or do we have color preferences? Any color?
Color? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can do colors.
Yeah. What colors?
Yellow?
Yellow, magenta. We want like rainbow colors, so they're different colors in different places.
If the dark is hard to read.
Okay, great.
Okay, so,
Well then, if after the meeting, everyone wants to stick around for 2
5
minutes,
minutes.
I'll send those up. Then.
And I'll walk out if you want to do that.
For me?
Cool. The website?
so we haven't really done much on the website. We did put a page that just lists who the major sponsors are, and put links to the chamber, the ECAT, the ECA, the EDIC, and the city. That just says these are the founding partners. There's also a form on a number of different pages for people who want to contact us, maybe after doing the survey. To submit. We did have a few people submit a form, and Josh has emailed them.
Okay.
One was the farmer's market and a couple other individuals.
Is there a nodule or a module for video embeds?
I'm sure.
Is that, I mean, do you know how to, I don't know anything about WordPress or how you install
Yeah,
stuff.
they're.
So if we had one of those ready to go on Friday, when
The
the
video's
video's
done.
done,
That would
we
be good.
could launch
Okay.
it right on our site
Put that
really
up there.
fast.
Great.
Yeah.
Her video too.
Yeah, and Marianne's
Yeah.
video too,
Exactly.
which Marianne's video is already on the web, so.
But we should also have it on our page, though. Ours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's easy, so we can just plug it in, done.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that.
So then I'll give you a profile
So we need to kind
I
of,
need a profile.
we didn't really finalize what the profile info would be for individual businesses, did we? Or if you have one to start with, then we could just use yours as the basis.
I did start one, so I'll finish.
Yeah.
We have the name, thumbnail, the logo, address, link, phone, email, contact person, description, size of the organization, and a short statement. That's what we agreed,
Okay.
but I don't think we finalized it.
Can you run that one more time?
The name, thumbnail with the logo, address, link to the website, phone, email, contact person, description, size of the organization, and a short statement.
I like that.
What would be good is if you do that for the ECA and Marianne does it, and then we can see it, and if anybody wants to suggest changes, then we,
Keep in mind, ECA Plus and Marianne's Dancing More on different levels.
different entity, types of entities.
ECA
Well,
Plus
if it works for
sponsor.
both, then that's
Yeah.
a good start.
Yeah, it'd be good if it worked for both.
Okay.
Somehow.
Name, thumbnail, big logo, address.
Okay. Can we move on to the next item? Updates from Denise?
The cultural district was approved, in case anybody hasn't seen that yet.
It's modified too, right? Is that modified? Cottage Street?
Modified, yes, to Cottage Street,
Yeah.
yes. So that was great news. Josh came down to, and Eric also, to the Massachusetts Cultural Council Board meeting a couple weeks ago.
We had a good showing, didn't we?
We sure did, yeah. It was very interesting, being there for the entire board meeting. It was a little anticlimactic because the announcement was like the very last thing that they did. But it was still worthwhile going and it was fun. So the next step would be to get the partners together, and an email has gone out. I'm sure many of you have already received it, and we're trying to get a meeting together of those partners. So we'll start implementing that organizational part of it. There will be a launch of the Cultural District on the Art Walk in May, which I believe is the second Saturday. So the MCC is coming out for that launch.
The 11th?
The 11th, yes. As our guests. So there'll be a big party kind of
Nice.
thing.
And that's the 11th of May.
11th, yes.
And that's with the Arts Walk.
It will be
It
during-
coincides with the
Okay,
walk.
okay, great.
And we'll let you know about any like formal type presentation or thing that is going to happen. Also, the May Art Walk, that we're going to unveil the lighting on Old Town Hall. The Keaton Tower is being lit, and there's going to be a program for different lighting schemes throughout the year. And yeah, it's going to be cool.
Sweet.
Just like the Chrysler building.
Yep.
A little bit shorter.
No, it's just like.
Gotta have Pat Bruff video that.
Excuse me?
How many flyers, just to get back, how many flyers can we?
No, have back to it.
I figured on Cottage Street, there's probably 15 to 20 that I'm gonna hit.
Okay,
And East Works is probably at least 5 or 10.
okay.
Where am I going? Old Town Hall.
15 each, or is that a lot? 15 each is a lot.
Yeah.
10 each? 10 each?
15 to
Yeah, it's 10 each.
Okay, we'll print down 50 or 60.
60 or 50.
Sorry, just to confuse things and go backwards.
Actually, I think we should talk about the one new business.
That's
item,
coming up.
Because that's going to be a hot thing. Are we done together?
Are we all set with the survey?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right.
Okay, here, as you know, I'm part of the EDIC. The EDIC this year does not have any money. And one of the things that they normally do is they sponsor the cleanup day, where we will go around and clean up the city. One of the things that they do for that is to spread mulch all around. And that usually oftentimes is donated. I think they're having a hard time finding someone to donate it this year, and they asked us if we have money left over from our budget, since we won't be able to use it past the end, is it the fiscal year at the end of June? Okay, since we won't be able to use it past the end of June, if we could give some of that back to the EDIC. And I said I would...
Or purchase for them.
Or purchase for them, okay. But basically use some of our money to buy the mulch.
Like how much?
Well,
Last year, it was $400. And the EDIC and the Manhattan Rail Trail Committee each got about $400 worth of mulch. The Manhattan Rail Trail put in about $400 and
How much is the mulch?
before $400.
No, I know, but per yard, the breakdown.
Oh, I don't know. It varies depending on who you're buying it from and
Right.
whether or not you're getting it.
I didn't know if there's
It's gotta be a
like,
whole
every
truck
year
worth
we
of
go
mulch.
to blah, 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 you know, I mean, 'cause
There might be, but I'm not sure. I mean,
how much
we don't know those
mulch
details
is
right now.
used, like 5 yards, 10 yards?
Barbara has the numbers for how much mulch we used last year. I don't know how much the EIC used, or how much the spring cleanup used versus how much the rail trail, but she was very good at like keeping track and has those numbers.
Okay.
So, can you give us a picture as to what the LocalWorks budget is right now, how much we've used, how much we expect to use? And I'm still definitely.
it.
I'll be back.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. If we have the money left over, then
My issue is that if there's things that we could do, like saying certain improvements to our website or maybe any other general business that we might do, maybe we should just try to budget it to give them some of what's left over, or
That's what I was gonna, ask them.
not just to give them everything we have.
yeah.
Well, exactly. That's why I wanted to have Jamie tell us how much we have and, how much that $400-ish would eat into it.
Could we get some goodwill advertisement out of this too, from that, the promotion for the day? Could the LocalWorks go on the flyers?
Very good idea.
Like this mulch was donated by the
Yeah.
LocalWorks,
Yeah,
keep East Hampton
Yeah.
beautiful.
I like the way your mind thinks.
So I don't have the exact numbers with me, but
What was our original? We had,
originally we were, at the beginning of the year, we were given a budget of $2,620.
okay.
We have spent about 1,100 on the survey. We had an, I'm sorry, I dropped my report.
Let's see, approximately 15.
But I think
We spent a few hundred on just getting the web posting, and the Survey Monkey was another, 200?
Right, well, survey, he said we
Is
spent
that,
1,100.
does
for the
1,100
survey.
include the Survey Monkey?
I'm gonna assume
Yeah.
that it does, but
I don't think so. I think the
We'll just-
1,100
we'll
was
get a
just
more
the
specific
printing.
answer.
1,100 was just the summit.
The 1,100 was the summit.
Now, I guess my question would be, if we give this money, how does that affect us getting
11?
money for next year?
Well, I think their point is it goes away no matter what after June.
The money does, in terms of next year, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Jamie's the person to answer that too.
So here's the breakdown. 2620 was the starting amount. We have set aside $1,034 for the survey through
meaning that.
the printing and distribution through the summit,
not including online survey.
not including online.
Okay.
We spent $280 for getting the website up and all the related incidentals there. And we spent another $275 for advertising in the summit. So that should leave us with $1,000.
So that includes survey.
If someone doing
That includes the Survey Monkey too?
The 280 was the website and Survey Monkey.
Okay.
So this leaves us with roughly $1,000.
Is that's my math,
Does the 275 include the hypothetical 100 for Facebook?
No,
Okay.
because that hasn't been accounted for.
So if we
let's just
take,
add that.
if we take that out, then it's roughly 900.
Right, and the way that the $1,000 is currently set up in our budget, we have, I guess, about $400 left in advertising. We have expended our technical services, which is the computer, Survey Monkey, etc. We have $360 remaining in printing and $200 remaining in postage.
Well, so how would that matter if we give that to the EAC? They're not using it for postage?
What's the
But we would take it out of one of these line items and move it to a new line item.
Okay, so,
Can I step back 1 second?
Absolutely.
You said advertising summit. No.
So we're not mailing, so we don't need that postage.
Does that
Right.
include what, your anticipated ads too?
Yes, that money's been encumbered for this service.
I think it would be a lot easier for us to make
Because
a
we have-
informed decision if we saw this printed up. It's hard to know what we're really discussing without all the details.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we have.
There's $1,000.
Do we have to decide today what to do when we don't have all the information?
Yes, we do.
The thing is May 1st. If this group votes down the EDIC, that's up to this
We
group.
have another meeting on the 23rd. Couldn't we look at the budget so we see exactly what we have, rather, because I'm hearing, oh, we might have this, we might have 300 in postage, we might
No,
have...
there's no Midas. All those numbers I gave for
I think we're roughly looking at $900.
we have 1,000, right now, we have $1,000 left.
Right.
When I will put in another 100 for advertising, assuming that gets encumbered and
Right.
set aside, we'll have 900 remaining.
I say if we giving us 500 still to work with our account, I think we can give 400 back to the EDIC. Should I make a motion that we say we can give 400? I don't think we can go because EDIC, it wouldn't do the EDIC any good for us to not make a decision.
And this does help, the cleanup, the mulch is being used in the downtown area to help downtown businesses.
Somebody
to help
asked
promote.
if LocalWorks could be credited for helping
Oh,
with
yeah,
that.
we would ask that too, that would be fine.
Yeah.
I will ask the EDIC if we can be credited for that as well. But I think,
What about telling them we'll give you half of whatever we have left? Because we don't know exactly what
I
it
don't
is.
think we need to do that
We
much.
just need to set aside whatever the mulch is, about $400.
I think we can just set aside $400.
Why don't we just take care of it and then for the EDIC? And then
I mean, that's the easiest way to do
That, we
it.
don't have to say, well, yes, you can have the money, but here's what we want in return, and, that we'll just,
Well, no, I think we'll say, yeah, look, we'll take care of it, but it would be great if you could, in the promotional stuff that you put out about it, that LocalWorks is helping.
Well, there should be a limit. You have to cover it, too, right?
What's that?
Do you have to encumber it? So you
Well, we have to get a quote. I have to figure out what, I haven't looked into that yet because I haven't had time to.
Okay, so let's say we'll take care of it up to $455.
I move that we allocate 450, you think, or 400?
It was 400 last year.
So then I move that we allocate $400 for the mulch, to go either from us to the city or from us to the EDIC to the city.
You say 400? 400, 450?
400.
I second that, I think it's a great idea.
Is there discussion?
Provided that we're credited.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's fair because otherwise we'd be spending that money on things to raise awareness about local work. So if there's a little sign that says mulch donation, but then we're achieving
I don't
that.
think
We're
there's-
still, huh?
They don't have signs up.
No signage, no.
Well, no, but there's
Sue Phillips is doing the flyer.
There are things, there are flyers and things like that. I don't expect a big banner across the pond.
Well, it's just nice to
But
be listed as a like, cooperation with the EDIC, the Chamber of Commerce, and LocalWorks.
Well, maybe we can make a little, like a little lawn sign thing with the logo.
Yeah, we have
Donated by,
$150 left.
mulch donated. I don't know. They're usually like $12.
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea.
I know. It's
What
What if we did make a couple
After
of those
June,
long
is our
signs, so we
budget
have
gone?
them at different
No money.
times?
No money, so then what happens next year? We have no budget.
Right.
Okay, so we have to think, before we decide on finalizing it, we have to think about how we can raise some money and maybe do other things. Can we think of ideas for LocalWorks to generate money? So let's say selling
At another
t-shirts
meeting,
or
yes.
hats, et cetera.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we can invest that and make $450 in the stock market.
Yeah.
Again,
I think it's money for next year is a separate conversation, I think. Yeah, unfortunately. Is there any further discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us now. Cool. Fearless leader?
That's it? Are we done?
I guess. Next meeting is April 23rd. And later on at 4 o'clock. We have to be out here at 4 because the next EDIC meeting is at 4.